man, nonsense again. My last video didn't come out, and it's like I said, shit was messed up. But I can't sleep again. Wake up to a nightmare of the wreck. But I wanna basically address, the harassment that was coming from these other places, and man, this doesn't do justice because it's just I'm just recording and recording the whole thing. But yeah, like I said, I was being harassed. Um, and It all started in 2021. You know what I mean? When they didn't want to work with my captain and said that my captain called Coast Guard and them. And then later on, he comes and because we were working with each other, they want to make amends and said, well, I'd call Coast Guard on people before, and I was just like, this hypocrite, like I said, whatever, water under the bridge. So long as you tell my captain, you guys talk about it, then we can get over it. But other than that, like this guy, and then he'd call me, at times where he was just sauced up and just go at him like, I was gonna step out the code group and this guy just like, oh, you think you can do it by yourself? And I was just thinking like, well, we were doing it by ourselves already. Like, remember we guys didn't want to talk to my captain, like, and you think you're the best. People tell me you say you find all the fish, and I was just like, what are you talking about? This dude's just like he's a liar, just like his little mouth used to do. They used to lie to prove a point. I remember I work on his boat, then I come back to our boat, and then his son be like, "Oh, but my dad said this is how it's supposed to be done," and I just look at him like, I'd work with your dad, like that's not how he does it. Like this dude, they would lie to prove points. It was ridiculous. It was like I said. You know what I learned from his son, to do the complete opposite. Because this dude, he didn't care about the people. I mean, he probably does now, but back then he didn't. And his effort was very little. Like I said, I learned to treat my passengers way different. And they may like him because he's been there so long. But I mean, if you ask his brother said that he shouldn't even have a license. So and you can ask him. I ain't gonna go there. But anyhow, I mean, I had to deal with that. Um, you know, I dealt with so much, from the moment I bought that boat. He should have just told me, like, I'm like, I remember December 26th, I bought it, and like, this is a few days before I went through with it. He's like, I don't know if I should get you a plotter because you only worked for me 2.5 years, and I don't know if you deserve it. I worked for him for 4.5 years, um, and working with his son for 4.5 years, like, like you have no idea how it was. I mean, you might as well take it back 100 and some years ago. Like, if you understand what I'm saying, that's how it was. He probably touched a knife to help me cut fish maybe 5 times, 10 times, and he touched a knife or a brush 5 or 10 times the whole time in 4.5 years. I mean, this is. I did everything besides drive the boat. It was sad. I mean, this was. I mean, then he let it loose that he got 2 raises while I was there. I never got one raise, and I did all the work. Like I was so disappointed. It's just ridiculous. Dude was just taking care of the little mouth. You know what I mean? It's just completely man. But anyhow, as time went on, um, uh, he even messed up my paperwork. So when I first bought this boat, he did my for my license, the radio license. You're supposed to get a call sign. Well, what he did was he took his call sign up and canceled that, which he should have just tried to transfer the call sign over. Well, he did that, and then he did do something on my paperwork that affected it. So for a year I was going through this paperwork, and they did not want they after a year because I have a record. They still didn't want to give me my radio license, and so they shut me down after I run 3 trips. I think on March 5th, I had a Coast Guard inspection, and Coast Guard was cool with it until this dude Andrew Smith, which was working with, he's a Coast Guard. Like this, this is probably when the harassment really started. Truly, I mean, he had shut me down. He's like, hey, well, I'm like, well, you guys were working with me before. He let me run. Like I'm doing everything by the book. He's like, well, you need your radio license. So I was getting at these people. I forgot what it is. It's not the FDA. I can't think right now. But anyhow, they didn't want like they're like, well, we can clear you. It could at any time. It could be months, days, months, hours, or years. We're like, what? I'm running a business. Like, so my captain that I had to put it under his name. And 5 days later, we got it. This is how sad it was. So the mouth messed up my paperwork, and I ended up paying paying for it. I lost at least 10, 15 trips from March 5th to April 17th is when they let me run again. Like thousands, I lost thousands. I mean, like this dude messed up. He should actually reimburse me for that. But this dude messed up my paperwork. Um, I had my examiner Wayne help me, uh, and he's the one that filed that paperwork. But he's out bad. He messed up your paperwork. We're gonna have to just take your whole thing out and just resubmit it again because what he did was wrong. It was wrong, and so and he's all. But the fastest way, if you can find someone else to put it in their name, that's the fastest way to do it. So I had to put it in my other captain's name. Um, this shit was so sad. I couldn't even afford it. Like it was like, man, like COVID hit us. Didn't get no COVID loans. Didn't get shit for COVID, and then I get shut down. Right when I'm barely coming back. I guess it was just impossible, but I made it work. I made it work. I worked hard for it. Um, and then so people. Excuse me. They know they started levying me, because of my old restitution, from my past, and I like it was so hard. Like they levied me like 3 times, and I just can't keep up with anything. Like at this point, I'm just losing and losing and losing. And nobody knows how to help me. Like this is my first time being a businessman. I mean, I'm losing the boat the whole time. How could I even understand a business? I'm just trying to save it. You know what I mean? It was impossible, but I made it possible. And then and and February and in December 2021, 2022, December 21st, 2022, I filed bankruptcy. And then I got into I spoke with the previous owner, and this is when a lot of it started again. Like this dude said, "Oh, my wife told me I should just take this boat from you," and I was like, "What?" Like, talk to him, and at the end of this conversation, so you're gonna try and take my boat? Like, well, business, business. So I'm like, this is the last conversation I had with them. You're gonna take my business, so I'm coming for yours. And I mean, and then this dude just started harassing, started calling like they're already calling my people, like my people are telling me like they're calling us trying to like we're gonna stick with you, and that's a no-no. And like I said, and that was his son. And so dealing with all this, the code grouper, and I addressed them all of them. Like, look, I'm gonna have to step out this code group. I'm not gonna, because I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna speak to these guys, which they're the ones trying to steal my business. Um, I can't help somebody that's trying to steal my business and my people. And that's what I said, them. And then this dude tried to act like I told him, oh, I seen the text, your text saying you don't want to work with us. I said, no. I said, I don't want to work with them. I didn't say you guys. And he just, that dude's just a lying piece of turd, too. You know what I mean? I learned the way he was, and a lot of people didn't like how he changed. Well, I can care less, now. He used to be a friend, but that fool's a friend. That fool just wanted my people too. You know what I mean? They were just so mad because they used to get all the attention. You know what I mean? And I have more stories on that, but whatever. Him and the mouth, they're the ones that enforced to not talk to me, along with that the mouse son. And so I'd be out there and like, so that's why, like I said, I was sleeping on that boat, you know what I mean? And I'll get to the other thing later when they weren't talking to me. And I was sleeping on my boat, living on my boat. And, I have my kids on my boat. I mean, I used to look out for the landing. And we got sea bass, yellows, yellow bit. I give them some, I mean, I look out for them. And we got along. They looked out for my little girls. And they knew we were living on, like I lived on the boat. My kids, my time, they would come with me on the boat. I mean, and then they kicked me out the boat after this dude made his declaration. Like a couple days later, next ownership comes to me. So you living on your boat? Like, somebody said they told our patrol, but I mean, I don't know. Let the mouth called our patrol, or it was just ownership themselves. But I mean, these other guys were living on the boat, two boats down. They come from San Diego, they live on their boat. You know what I mean? Or if not, they were just saying they slept on the boat. All you had to do is tell me you sleep on the boat. That's it. Like, these dudes were just scamming. It was scammers. They were straight up harassing me. They were That's exactly what they're doing. And then I had to do some biased, like it was like an addition to the contract. And what you should have done when that time happened, regardless, like you should have addressed all these people, And then once he told me that I couldn't stay on my boat, he should have even addressed them because he knew. Of course, he knew. Everyone knew. Everyone knew who stays on the boat. Like it's not hidden. Like I mean, they see me walking. They see everybody walking to their boat every day. Like they know what's going on. You know what I mean? Like it was sad. They were targeting me, and like I said, and Coast Guard was targeting me along with them, and people will tell you like when Coast Guard boarded me, did their dry dock inspection on me back in January or February of 2022. Um, that's when there was Andrew Smith had cadets on the boat with him. And I'm putting this because Andrew Smith was harassing me from Coast Guard. And I asked him that day in front of my employees, hey, so I heard you guys called the landing on me, and that's when they came with this secondary contract. It was like an addition that could basically said they can kick me out whenever they wanted. And that's why I got an argument with them. But listen to before I go there, Coast Guard. I talked to Anderson. He's like, oh well, I no, I wasn't talking. No, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know. I've never heard anything about Coast Guard calling, the landing. That's what he told me. So, okay, I cleared that up. He says it's not them. So the landing was telling me it was Coast Guard. He told me it was. Like he has no idea about it. So I asked about the 12 hours. He saw, if you go 1 minute over your 12 hours, you can get in trouble. And I'm like, what? Like, I heard there's a grace period of like an hour. No, no, 12 hours or one minute over, you can get in trouble. He's telling me this in front of the cadets. And I'm like, wow, that's ridiculous. There has to be some time like where you could play with but a minute over, like he's like, yeah, you can get in trouble. So, well, I mean, I took that exactly how I should take it. Like, passengers seen them clocking me. I mean, everything I say can be confirmed by someone else. I didn't ask. This passenger told me, I seen them clock you. You make sure you're in by your 12 hours. And this other boat was leaving before me, coming in after me. This is ridiculous. So, so later on, during my topside inspection, which was in April, I believe, March or April, this dude, gets on the boat, whatever, blah blah, and there's a fireboy system. Fireboy is basically connected to your generator and your main engine. So if there's a fire down in your engine room, it sets both of them off. Well, I just happened to learn a few days before my fireboy wasn't connected to my generator. So I got at the previous owner of the mouth, and I got him to bankruptcy. Said, "Hey, what's going on with this boat? I need to know what the little mouth did to it because my boat is a fire hazard, and I was never told about this. And this is years later. Like, what else did he do so I could fix it so it won't be a hazard?" Didn't respond. But what happened was when Coast Guard came and boarded me, guess what he does? He goes straight for my generator. And I'm glad that I fixed it a couple days before. When I seen it, I found it. Matter of fact, one of the owner's sons helped me. Now, um, Coast Guard never. That Andersmith's been around for 2, 3 years. Never went to my generator, ever, ever. And then when I told him, I started laughing when he got in the boat. He went after he went straight to my generator. My employee, like, I looked at him, and laughed. I says, "Yeah, I told you." And then he looked at me like, "Well, what?" Like, I'm like, "You never asked for a generator." Well, yes, I have. Always do. No, 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 you didn't. You never. I've been on this boat since you've been around. You never, never. You know what I mean? Don't lie to me. Like, this dude's a law enforcement officer. So if he's lying, he knows exactly what he's doing. And somebody told him to go for it, go straight to his generator. And that's exactly what happened. I'm telling you who's harassing me. So I tell him now, I'm like, "Look, dude, you don't have to lie to me. I don't care. Like, it is what it is." "No, you never told me. You never went for that generator." I said, "As a matter of fact, now I wonder why." I asked him about if, and then I told him, "You said nobody called from Coast Guard. Nobody called on me from like that. Never called Channel Island. Never called that other landing, right?" And then he's like, "Well, look, I talked to the manager over there, and we were talking about you, but and that's not like what? Well, you told me before a couple months ago you guys didn't talk about me. Now I'm over here, and now you guys are saying now you're saying you talked about me. Like, what's going on? You said you didn't. That you weren't talking to them about me. You know what I mean? Now you're saying that you are." And like I said, my employee was right there, heard everything. Like, "Oh, this dude's just harassing me for him," and I mean, and they're holding me to do this roving watch. That other sister boat wasn't doing it. It's crazy. People tell them to let me know. Yeah, they're not doing like, what's going on? Why are you doing? They're not doing that over there. I'm like, like, I was just being targeted. That's bottom line. And then so I'm out there running my boat, and these two owners are enforcing that. And one of them's not even in the water no more. But his mouth, the mouth, little mouth is, you can't talk to these guys. You can't talk to me out there. So when these two guys would be out there, they couldn't talk to me. But when they when only when they were on the water. But when they weren't out there, they would talk to me. So I'm like, "Nah, I'm cool with all that." So I mean, I would be like fishing and sea bass fishing, and there'll be 4 or 5 of them, and there'll just be me by myself. You know what I mean? Because they'll all be out there, the main heads that were pushing on me. And that dude knows. He knows what he did. That dude that owns those two boats was helping the mouth. You know what I mean? And then later on, like, "Oh, I just want, no, you said you didn't want to work with us." So no, I said I don't want to work with them. I never said you guys go like, but I was just like, whatever, yeah, yeah, yeah. Go look at your text, dude. Your text and tell you it's straight clear. Like, I know what I said. You know what I mean? But you try to come and justify it. We're not gonna work with them no more, and like, shut up, dude. I was just like, yeah, all right, cool, get on my boat, kind of deal. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not here to hear some lies. I'm like, we used to be friends, but he jumped on that other dude's side, and apparently they believed him because the mouth was down. Heard rumors are like, "Well, he just wants to get paid." I was paying that dude. I was paying that dude. Matter of fact, late fee every month. At first, the mouth was like, okay, well, the third after the third, and then you have to pay a late fee. Well, after the 10th, you can pay the late fee, S&B late fee, and then after he got mad, he's all, "Well, I looked at the paperwork. After the third, then you have to pay a late fee." And I should have still had a grace period for them. But he was getting an extra $110 every month from me. Probably like 1 month he didn't get it, but an extra one. This dude's he's a crook, dude. And he knows he is. And like, all this shit after that, he was talking about me and the landing, oh, well, that's your business. They was calling my people, that's your business. Like, what? People, got escorted out of this place. Contracts, these contracts, they should have, addressed everybody they couldn't live on their boat. They should have, the contract, this bias contract that basically said they can kick me out whenever they want, or culpability. If he would address it to every ownership, it wouldn't have been a problem, regardless. You know what I mean? I mean, I was just being singled out and targeted. That's all exactly what was happening. And then all this, with all this harassment on the ocean. I mean, his son almost hit me. We're sea bass fishing. I mean, this dude was so much of a joke. Like, he was trying so hard. Like, I mean, we're fishing. I turn around and there's another boat that's there. This dude almost collided with me. Like, it was ridiculous because he was trying to push the area to a spot before. He was way off. I was way closer to him. And this dude literally like cut me off and I could have hit this dude and I got mad and told this dude and I got that landing. Like, you guys better tell your people, watch out now, because this is good. Serious. I'll go over there and take care of business, whatever I gotta do. This dude's fucking crashing me intentionally. I'm not fucking playing around. Like, this shit was wrong. You know what I mean? I was dealing with a lot of this stuff. You know what I mean? And just the magnitude of what I was doing while I was just doing it by myself. You know what I mean? Like I said, we did it by ourselves before, and I was doing it by myself again. You know what I mean? Like, just look at the facts. Who caught the first one fish limit locally and from 2021? Like, you know what I mean? And this is big sport boats, not those little skips running 15 to 17 knots an hour. I mean, I run what, 8 knots the most, 9. I was running a little harder. That boat wanted to run it harder, but nah. I mean, I had to deal with all these guys and all this mess and all this, and then the incident report. I mean, when the boat was wrecked, like Coast Guard didn't do their job. You know what I mean? They didn't. The main investigator was Andrew Schmidt, the same one that was harassing me, and this dude held me responsible. He said I didn't orientate him. If they would have asked me, I would have told them. They never asked me about all this stuff. They just listened to the who crashed my boat. Everything he said. Oh, there's low visibility. Oh, there's no autopilot. Autopilot is not mandatory. It's not. Of course, there's low visibility. Loose items. The dude could have secured it. And far as orientation, I did orientate them, but they didn't even listen to me. They didn't hear what I had to say. They didn't get at me like to defend myself. They didn't, like they took this man that crashed my boat at face, took it and rolled with it. They just got him for one thing, which was a dangerous maneuver, which they don't even say what it was. I mean, what, that he missed the island completely, and if he would have kept going, that we would have been clear. But he turned back around and hit it. Like that he said we hit the island multiple times before we did. Like, well, was that the dangerous maneuver? Like these dudes didn't look into anything. These dudes made they failed. They failed our people. They failed my passengers. They failed my crew, and they failed me. They didn't do an investigation. They didn't do their job, and somebody has to be held responsible for this. I didn't know that the dude running my boat was closely associated with the mouthful I was going at it with. I did a Google search and both their names pop up. First one, yeah, and Google searches, they can be traced. First time I put their names together, they pop up winning awards on 2019 together at a yacht club. Didn't even know. I didn't know he was closely associated with all these people, but that was my fault for not doing my homework. I just needed a captain, but I was dealing with this massive, harassment. It was a targeting issue, and you know what I mean. Like, think about the distress I was under, and especially like you know, with with the distress of losing my boat. Then you got these people not wanting to talk to me, like that's just like a bullying. Like, you go to school and like it's like a bullying situation, and then you get these landings start spreading rumors that I'm gonna shoot them up. Like, they're spreading rumors over two-way radio, and then they start calling owners like I'm gonna shoot it up. I mean, these radios, If you have the frequencies, you can hear it. Like, you think people are gonna want to fish with me after that? My business is crushed, and it was their mouth that did it. Their mouths, not mine's. Everything, it was their actions. They harassed me. They didn't want to talk to me out there. Um, I mean, biased contracts, kicking me off the boat for sleeping on the boat. Them almost hitting me. I notified them when that dude almost hit me out there. Um, them calling saying I was gonna shoot him up. Like, that's serious. What if Coast Guard took it serious and went out there and just like if somebody called for a school shooting, took it serious. What if they would have came and approached me, and I didn't know, and they took my life? What if my life was taken? How could I? What's the feedback for that? How could I answer up? My mouth is closed permanently. You understand? Like, this Coast Guard failed to do their job. They failed. Like I said, Ken Frankie. Ken Frankie told me he was the one. I got at him. He's the president of sport fishing. Some of these people are on his board, and I'm telling him, like, hey, I'm getting harassed. Like, what? Well, what do you want me to do? Like, you're the president. Like, I'll be honest. Like, if somebody told me something like this, as a small person, I would just be like, look, um, you guys can't do that. This is not gonna happen around me. Period. And this dude's a big dude. Like, hey, that shit can happen. It's gonna affect us all. Like, you guys are all, especially some of you guys are on my board. Like, I'm condoning it. You know what I mean? Like, now you guys are all responsible. So I call Coast Guard, and you know what I mean. And I emailed Coast Guard and let them know. I did everything like that. Emailed Harbor Patrol. I emailed Fish and Game. Fish and Game, did the best, had the best responses out of everybody. I give them credit and I respect them, But he said that Coast Guard was the main one, and Coast Guard allowed me to be harassed. They allowed me, and they were so everything that I put together. I mean, I would say, as an educated, you know, guess or educated due to the facts that they were harassing me. I mean, their guy was harassing me, right? They allowed it. I addressed it to him. Um, I sent them the declaration of the mouth perjuring himself against me lying. Like, they knew. So they had evidence. Andrew Smith had it. I'm telling him, like, I'm being harassed. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what do you want me to do? Okay, let me go over there and go start whooping all these guys' asses. Is that what I'm supposed to do? No, no, it's business. They're calling Coast Guard on me. I gotta protect my business. I gotta put a legal blanket around it. Like, hey, they're harassing me. And if not, like, what are they trying to do? They're trying to shut me down because they shut me down. They know I can't pay. The more I can't pay, the worse I'm off. You know what I mean? And that's why he got mad because I figured it out in bankruptcy. You know what I mean? And he threatened to take my boat, and I fought back. And then him calling the other landing, trying to not give me a house right there. He probably called that landing in Ventura too, but he called this other landing. Oh, he's a piece of shit. They told me right there. Oh, he's a piece of shit. Don't take a man. He owes me money. Like, that's wrong. That was credit harassment. My lawyer didn't want to do shit. That's why I fired him. Well, that's why I was going at it with him. Kevin Simon, the bankruptcy lawyer. He was a piece of shit. I don't recommend that man. That man told me the only way he would represent the harassment case is if I paid him $1,800. He knew I was being harassed, but he wanted money, and I couldn't pay it. I was filing bankruptcy. Like, this is a joke. Like, I got emails to the trustee, to him. Like, I'm being harassed. Like, this dude's not doing his job. You know what I mean? Like, that alone, this dude should have paid. Period. But I deal with a lot. I deal with a lot. I mean, and just think about fishing and me doing what I was doing, catching all these sea bass, catching all this halibut, doing all this at a time like this. I mean, it was tough. It was hard, and I did it. You know what I mean? And every time after it was so tough out there just working by myself. Like, mentally, I was just so mad. Like, these dudes, and but they want to call me when they needed info from me. Like this dudes were jokes. It was sad. It was hard. And I pushed through it and I fought through it. But I mean, I think about it constantly. I still wake up from my boat, being wrecked. This dude didn't even apologize. Didn't even apologize to crash my boat. Like, I mean, if I would have done, I would be like, look, man, like, I don't got no money. I'm sorry, but what can I do to help? That's what a real man does, right? Like, I can't pay, but what can I do to help you? Or I got $1,000. I could help you get a lawyer. No, no, this dude just when he needed me and they charged us, we got charged. That's when his lawyer reached out, and I got his lawyer. Said, look, um, have work with me, whatever, and what we discussed about now. I'm for the shade still shut up. You ain't from nowhere. Joke. But I try to help all these guys. I give them the opportunity to fix it. They start blocking my emails, act like nothing happened. Like, yeah, it happened. And you guys were involved and and you guys didn't want to fix it. So I gotta let my people know until you guys come with the I'm like I said, I gotta fight for my career. I gotta fight for my livelihood, and I gotta live with this. It's hard. I mean, it's easy. Like I would have been running already. You know what I mean? And nobody ever said how good I was. It's because they all were just hating on me, all lying, and they're all a lot of these guys were pushing against me. I mean, what other reason would it be? But big harassment.